Well, here we are looking down on our spaghetti factory that we built in the last episode. Hope you guys enjoyed following along. And in this episode, we've got a few big projects on our hands. One of which is going to be our starter factory. We're going to take all this and we're going to put it up on foundations and make it nice and neat. And hopefully it'll have a little bit better power consumption. And next big project is going to be the space elevator. We want to get the space elevator going so we can get started on some project parts and unlock tier 3, which will give us access to coal power. And when we get access to coal power, we can automate our power production, which is going to be super helpful so that we can start building some good factories. I hope you guys enjoy and follow along. So our first big project, well, our first sub-project before we get going on our big project is we need to expand our concrete production, because just this little bit is just not going to be enough to get us going so we can build all those foundations. So let's go ahead and get that done real quick. If you look off to the right there, I have put kind of in order what we need to do for this episode. So hope you guys follow along, and if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Alright, so we have 120 coming out of there. We do have Mark II belts now, so we can go ahead and create 2 more of these. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're just gonna make this a rough estimate for now. Ooh, running around on these cliffs makes me a little nervous. Alright, so we've got 120 coming out of there. Going into Mark II belts. If you remember in our last episode, we unlocked the parachute, which is going to be super helpful and maybe protect us a little bit from fall damage. Got that all powered up. So now we're going to be utilizing all 120 of our resources coming out of there. You know, just to make things a little bit more power friendly, we're going to go ahead and underclock these. Since we have 4 of them, I'm going to go ahead and underclock them all so they're putting out 10 each. Just go ahead and copy those settings. Just paste them right in. Oh, so we got 40. We're consuming, should be consuming 30. So consuming 30, 30, 30, 30. That'll give us a little bit more concrete to work with, so we can build our starter factory. If we need more concrete, we'll go ahead and tap into that other limestone node just on the other side of that hill there. But for now, I think that'll be enough to get us started. So where I plan to start this is kind of right here. So we're going to have one miner come out here, one's going to come out here. And this is going to be the corner of our starter factory. Starter factory is going to be up just above there. So let's go ahead and go up there. Alright, so we're up top here, and where we're going to start this is going to be right here. By snapping to the world grid and holding control, that's where we're going to want it to start. We're going to come up 16 from the base, just enough so that we can basically cover this. Okay. I'm gonna zoop over here. I'm just gonna put a ramp so we can get up there. So this is where our inputs are gonna come in. So I'm just gonna take that one out just to mark it. So I built out some foundations, a lot more than I probably need. We're gonna be building out this way and this way. Off to the right, you'll see on my to-do list, we're gonna need 15 constructors, 9 smelters, a bunch of splitters and mergers. Let's get started on the build. We're going to need 15 constructors and then a bunch of smelters. Let's go ahead and build out those constructors first. Alright, that should be 15. Go ahead and get our smelter lines going. Alright, so that's all belted up. let's get the other ones here. All right, so I got it all set up. I'm gonna go ahead and explain what's going on here. Let's turn my light on so we can see things a little bit better. All right, so basically we have 120 coming in here. These are both set to 22.5 each, meaning they're only going to use 45. So 45, this is going to use 30, so that's 75. This is going to use 30, so that's 105. The other 15 is going to go up, over, down, and into the end, which is only going to be using 15. Here it's a little bit more simple. We have 120 coming in. Oops, I didn't set those up. Easy enough. All right, so these 120s coming in, and each one of these is using 30. So 30 times 4, 120. So I'm only going to need 2 belts coming in. So that is the smelter setup and the constructor setup. So let's go ahead and set up the assembler side now. All right, so I got that all set up. Let's go ahead and walk you through what's going on with the assemblers. So the assemblers, this is taking in 20 rods per minute and 100 screws per minute and putting out 4 rotors. This is just 25 rods per minute, and this is just 20 screws per minute. Now over here it's a little bit more complicated, but not too hard to follow. So right here we've got 120 screws coming in, then being split into each of these. So each of these is taking 60 screws per minute. And then these 3 constructors right here are putting out 60 plates per minute, coming in over here, splitting between these, so it's 30 in each. Each one of these is putting out reinforced iron plates for a total of 10 reinforced iron plates per minute. And these last 2 constructors here are just making plates. So this is going to be a total of 30 plates per minute. All of these are going to go into storage containers. So I'll go ahead and build out those storage containers real quick, and then we'll get going on the other part of their starter factory. Now I am leaving a little bit of space in between these so that I can put a splitter in there. Hopefully we can unlock smart splitters soon, which will allow us to overflow into awesome sinks, which will help give us tickets. Our copper setup is going to be a little bit more simple. It's only going to be 7 constructors, which we'll just barely have enough room here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to have 4 smelters. Let's go ahead and... These 2 are pretty easy to set up, so let's go ahead and get these set up. And then I'll explain what's going on. Alright, so our copper is all set up here. It's pretty simple. So these 4 constructors are going to be putting out wire. These 3 constructors are going to be putting out copper sheets. As I went ahead and did this as well. So we have 120 coming in, 60 going in, split to 30, 60 going in, split to 30. So it works out perfectly. So let's go ahead and get the other side set up. All right, so our copper's set up, which is pretty simple. These 4 constructors are putting out 30 wire each. One's dedicated to its own storage bin. These 3 are dedicated to these 2. These are underclocked to put out 22.5 cable each, so that'll give us 45 cable going in there, which requires only the 90 wire. These 3 constructors are making copper sheets, so that's our cable setup. There is our iron setup. Next up, we're just gonna bring in some limestone, and we're gonna make our own concrete production right over here, so we can make sure that we do not run out of concrete anymore. So I'll see you when I get that done. Well, concrete is all set up now. We're going to have 120 coming in feeding these 4. Each machine is set to produce 10 concrete, which should give us 80 concrete per minute. So that means 80 is going to be going into here, and we always need concrete, so I definitely wanted to get that going. Cool, so let's go ahead and get everything powered up, check for leaks, and we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. With the power of editing, you didn't have to sit here and wait for all this to even out. But we have green lights across the board, everything is super efficient. And we've got concrete production, we've got all of our basic parts to get started here. And we even cleaned up downstairs a little bit. So I'll show you what we did downstairs. Cleaned up all of this. All of our old spaghetti factory is now gone. We even have a couple extra nodes to work with. So if we want to expand and maybe do a small batch of modular frames or even heavy modular frames when we get to it, we will. So the next big step is we're going to probably clean up our biomass and biofuel production a little bit. And we're going to get the hub and everything up on top of the platform. And we're going to build the space elevator. There, now we have a nice little area here on foundations. It's nice and clean. We've got concrete production right next door and all the parts that we really need for now. Let's see what it takes to build the space elevator. Okay, well, we need some copper wire. Alright, we've got everything we need to go ahead and build the space elevator. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and build out a little bit more foundations here so we can make nice room for it. Eventually we'll move all this and we'll build a really nice starter factory when we unlocked a lot more items in the awesome shop. This looks like a good place for the space elevator, so that looks like a good place for it. Let's watch the little animation that it does. It's so cool. Never gets old. So if you look up at the top right of our screen, we now have an objective complete phase 1, which requires us to make smart plating. Let's just see what smart plating takes. Looks like it's a 1-to-1 ratio of reinforced iron plates and rotors. Easy enough. I think what we'll do for this is just get a little temporary setup going here. Get our highest belt that we can. And let's make some smart plating. Now it's a 1-to-1 ratio, so literally all we need to do is take 50 of these. Put them in there. 50 of these. Put them in there. We'll have to go get our power going. We'll just run that right into the space elevator. Let's see what's going on with our power grid. Oh, looks like we ran out of biofuel, so let's go take care of that real quick. Reset our power. We're gonna need a couple more biomass generators. 12 generators. That should be good. Get them powered up, and look at that. So much more power. Should last us a little bit longer too, since we're not using 100% of the power that we need. Alrighty, we've got our power situation temporarily fixed. We've got some smart plating coming into the space elevator, and then once that's all good, then we'll unlock tier 3 and 4. Once we get tiers 3 and 4 unlocked, we'll have access to coal power. So while this is filling up with our smart plating, I'm going to keep an eye on it on the top right, and let's go grab some wood and leaves for our last round of biomass. And due to the power of editing, you will not have to sit here and watch paint dry. We're back! Finally! Went around and got some wood, some leaves, found a couple new things like barrel nuts, got some more caterium, found a couple power slugs. Cool. That should be enough to get us going for a little while until we can get some coal power going. While we're waiting on the space elevator to finish filling up, let's go ahead and see if we can't get some quick wire unlocked in the MAM. Let's go ahead and craft up a few things. Well, would you look at that? Our elevator is all ready. Never get enough of that. So now we have access to tiers 3 and 4. Let's look at tier 3. We've got coal power, vehicular transport, basic steel production, melee combat. Tier 4 we get advanced steel production and all kinds of good jazz. Let's go after coal power. I know we have enough for that one. And much like what we did before, let's go ahead and make a temporary setup for our modular frames, because it looks like we're going to need some. So there, that'll get us some modular frames going. Matter of fact, let's do a little bit of overclocking just to make it go a little bit faster and I don't have to make a big old complicated one. That'll just make it go a little bit faster. Okay, we got all this. Let's get improved melee combat. Oh, looks like we're still missing some. Let's put down an awesome sink here with a storage container. Their highest belt speed. Get it powered up. How is our power doing? Yeah, we're cutting it a little close. Get some tickets going. Three tickets, just like that. We can always get rid of some of these rotors just to see what we can get for tickets. Maybe I'll regret this, but maybe I won't. Yeah, we definitely can use up some of this cable. Let's put all that in there. Cable, rotors. I'm gonna take a couple stacks of rotors. Cool, that'll get us some tickets and we can get the awesome shop. This will allow us to get some more aesthetically pleasing building materials. And we're gonna start by checking out a few things, like floor holes will be nice. Foundations, I always get the double ramp set. Walls, concrete. You can also buy equipment too, but I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, 15 coupons and counting. Well, we got enough of our modular frames now, so let's go ahead and send these off. Vehicular transport, send. Basic steel production, send. Improved melee combat, send. Look at that, tier 3 done. Now before we get going too much farther on this, we definitely need to get our power situation fixed. So let's go ahead and work on our power situation, which we're going to now use coal power so that we are no longer relying on biofuel for our power, which is not very automatable, if that's a word. Well, I went ahead and got some concrete, turned our power back on, and I'm back. Built out a couple foundations, and we're going to get started building our coal plant. I'm going to limit ourselves to one pipeline. and one pipeline is 300. And I'm going to see how much water that will provide us. So if we look at it here, coal generator takes 45. So we do a little bit of quick napkin math. 300 divided by 45 is going to be 6.666 repeating. That's the number of generators we'll be able to provide. I don't want to do that. So now if we underclock these to consume 40 water instead of 45, then we can use 3 per water extractor, and that makes it a lot easier to manage our logistics. So we're just going to do the 6 for now. Then later on, when we have more parts and stuff, we will just double it up on this side. So for now, let's get all of our water up here to fuel all of these generators. All right, we got it set up. And if you go 4 clicks out, these line up perfect with the generator. It looks really nice and clean. All right, so we've got our pipes. We've got our Mark II belts. Our miners right there. Let's get that belted up real quick. These are going to get all loaded up with coal. And we'll go ahead and get some power around to them. Now these are all going to be set to kind of a weird number, but it will make sense, I promise. Alright, so those are all set to consume 40 water. Now while that's filling up, let's get the water going. We're going to need a pump. We're going to need power for that pump. Hopefully we have enough juice. Ooh. Alright, we're getting some water. Once the system fills up, then we'll start turning them on one by one. Cool, so the system is full. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these on now. And it will have been official that we have automated our power production. Last thing I'm gonna do is just adjust these so that they are putting out 100 each. That's all working. Alright, let's see what it is. Look at that. Now our power is automated. And each of these is going to be putting out, per power production, is 66.6666 repeating. Got coal going into all of them. They're all on, all green lights. Well, now that we have coal power, we don't need all this. How about that? Watch this. It's gonna be so awesome to have to do that. I am excited to have to do that. Alright, we'll keep our little solid biofuel production. Actually, let's go ahead and take that upstairs too. Make that upstairs so it's just on some foundations, and then everything will be up there. There we go. Now our biofuel production is not on the ground. Everything is up here. Our power's automated. And we're gonna go ahead and make sure that concrete never stops. Now we can go ahead and go over here to our to-do list, and we can say coal power is done. I know what we need to do. Let's see what we've got for tickets. 22 tickets, I don't mind if I do. Okay, let's see what we can buy in the awesome shop. Conveyor floor lifts, double ramp set, doors, conveyor walls, concrete, asphalt. There we go. We've got double ramp foundations, concrete, asphalt, doors, conveyor walls, conveyor wall holes. Well, that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed when we built our first starter factory. We also got the space elevator done and phase 1 completed. That unlocked tier 3, so we were able to get coal power done. We got a small coal generator setup going where we automated our power production. I hope you guys really enjoyed the episode. As always, if you have ideas or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. Guys, next time, when we unlock advanced steel production and we get Mark III logistics done. We're also going to unlock a few more things in the awesome shop so we can actually start making some really nice looking factories. And I will see you guys next time.